Hello and welcome to Stories of Chazal. Here we have a story. The source of this is quite an interesting source. It's called, it's printed at the end of a certain medrash called medrash ויושע, and this medrash is called, this is the medrash of Maisa Hamelech. It's about Shlomo hamelech, King Solomon. And although the sources of it are quite controversial, there is lessons that can be learned from it and what to take out of it. So the medrash goes like this. It said this happened when Shlomo God gave him the gift to become very wise, and he managed to become extremely powerful as well, and to the extent that God basically made him ruler over every creature on earth pretty much. He pretty much had complete control over nature. He managed to basically defy all laws of nature because of that. We'll see soon how that worked out. So he ruled over the humans, the animals on earth, the birds, everything. And in addition to that, he had quite an interesting gift from Hashem, from God. And I'm not sure if he made it or if it was given to him as a gift. He made people actually make it for him because he had so much help. That he had this cloak, or it seems like it was some type of cape, of extremely long. It was he would sit on it, and it was made of silk, and it was green, and it actually had woven into it gold strings, and it had all the different types of art from all over the world, sewn directly into it. And the way the medrash describes it is, it was 60 mil wide by 60 mil. Mil is the mile of the times of the Gemara, the times of the Mishnah, and it was 60 wide and 60 long. Now, in modern terms, it would possibly be around 35, 36 miles long and wide, which is hard to understand what that means. But the story continues as follows. It says that Shlomo actually had 4 different generals that he would work with. One of them was from the human race, one of them was from the Shadim race, one of them was from the animals on earth, and one of them was from the flying creatures, in other words, the birds, the bird kingdom. And he says that the medrash says that the general that he had from the humans, his name was Asaph, the son of Berechia. We don't know, I'm not sure if this is Asaph from Tehillim, to look into that. And the one the general from amongst the Shadim, the demon race, his name was Remirot possibly. And the general that he had from the animals on earth was the lion, the king of all animals. And then he had the one that was over the birds, the general of the birds, was referred to as the Nesher. Now Nesher is, I think, acceptedly known as, it's a certain type of vulture. I forgot the exact name of the vulture, but it's a certain type of vulture. And Shlomo's travels, says the medrash, he would travel by wind. It doesn't say exactly what that means and how that worked, but apparently he was traveling on this aderes, on this cloak that he had, throughout the wind. What that means? Seems to have defied gravity. Was it a type of plane? It's not clear. These are very primitive, wordings that, in our language is very hard to translate to. So he would eat, and it says he would be able to fly from one place to the other, to the extent it said that he would be able to eat in the morning his breakfast. It said he would eat it in the city of Damascus, which is known as Damascus in Syria, and in the evening he'd already be in Modai. Modai is, again, thought to be somewhere in Iran, mid-Iran. So that is, nowadays, I'm not sure how long it takes to fly there by plane, but this might have been a possibility. So in other words, the way medrash describes it, basically, in one day, he would be in the morning in the west, and in the east in the evening. So the story goes as follows of what happened in one specific incident. One day, Shlomo hamelech actually, he was very, he became a little haughty, says the medrash. It sort of got to him this power and these capabilities, and he was thinking to himself, I'm unique. There's no one on earth that's like me. God gave me such intellect, such wisdom, and he gave me rulership over all the creatures, literally all the creatures. That was known. So at that moment, apparently this cloak that he was traveling on, device cloak, I'm not sure what it was. They were traveling on into the wind, through the wind. It shook, and Shlomo hamelech fell from it. Together, said the medrash, and there were actually 40,000 men that were with him on this cloak, on this device that he was traveling through the sky. I'm not sure if it was a certain type of technology or just that because Shlomo hamelech had rulership over all natural things, so therefore they were subservient to him, including the wind, which they had to blow them that far. So when Shlomo hamelech realized what happened, that, so to speak, knocked him off, he screamed to the wind, right? So it seems like it wasn't a technology, rather it was the nature was subservient to him, because he was screaming at the wind specifically. And he tells to the wind, come back, take us. So the wind told him like this. He says, you should return to your God and don't have haughtiness. And then I'll return with you. I'll return to work with you. So in that moment, Shlomo hamelech, King Solomon, became very humbled. He was very ashamed. And he was embarrassed. So that was quite a powerful lesson for the wisest man on earth. Even though he had all this power, all this control, but when it came to, so to speak, defying God's will in regards to having haughtiness, which is such a bad trait, nothing was subservient to him. So even though he was, so to speak, almost a god, nope, he still didn't reach that.